Okay, let's look at a very simple example. So this is a bank that has just one teller window, okay, and the customers arrive following an exponential distribution with an average of 2 minutes, okay. And then the teller waiting line is FIFO, so first in, first out, and has a capacity of 7. Here we are assuming that if a customer comes in and sees 7 people waiting in line, then the customer is just going to go. Okay, so this capacity need not be a physical capacity. It can be something logical like that. Or it could be a physical limitation. If there is a physical limitation of only a certain number of people can come into the room, then you put that there. And on the other hand, here let's assume that 7 is really too big a line for a customer to come in and join. So we'll put that as the capacity 7. And then in the simulation, we can try to see how many customers are not joining the line because there are too many people, meaning there are 7 people in the line. Okay? And then after the waiting line, okay, so waiting line time is whenever is available. So there is no time involved here. However long it takes for the customer to get to the front of the line, the customer has to wait until he or she gets to the front of the line. So then the customer moves to the teller window and say there is only one teller. Okay, so there is one unit, one capacity equal to 1. Okay, and the service time is normal 2.4, 0.5, and once the transaction is complete, the customer exits. Okay, so here are the records, the how to set the model up. I have some screenshots here, but let's go ahead and do this in ProModel. Okay, so I'm going to start a new one. Okay, so I don't want to save the previous one. And let's see, I want to select graphics. I want to select the bank icons. Okay, so click OK. So now we have location. There are 2 locations. We have the entrance. Well, it's a queue. We have teller line and teller queue. So that's what we have. Okay. Now teller line. When I created the graphics, I forgot to give names, so I should have given names. Now here, it's kind of all right. So that's my icon for a line, people standing. Okay, I stole it from the web somewhere. All right, so we have a line there. So let's call it waiting line. So ProModel doesn't like spaces in names. So if you use space, it'll automatically convert that into an underscore. All right. So here there's only one line. So units is 1, capacity is 7. Okay. Now we have another one. So let's say, well, we can do something here. See, there is the counter. You uncheck, and if you put a counter, so the counter is associated with this location, and when you run the simulation, the counter will show you how many people there are. It's really, if you're making a presentation and if you want to have visual feeling, you can have that. Otherwise, this is more for display. It's not really doing anything as far as this modeling or collecting results or output or anything like that. This is only for display. So if you double click, you can change the font, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, next is next location is teller, and I have a teller icon. Where is it? Is this the one? I think so. So I have to click new. Yeah, I think this is the teller icon. All right, so we have teller. Okay, but there are two of them here in the icon. But we're going to start with just one. Right, so teller. Okay, capacity 1, unit 1. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now let's go to entities. What happened here? Okay, so entities. So we will select customer. Okay, so that's good. All right, now we have arrivals. Arrivals is customer. Location is waiting line. Okay. Quantity each is 1. First time is fine. Occurrences is infinity. Okay. Doesn't mean that there are going to be infinitely many customers will come in, but it's just that we have a pool of infinite pool of customers, and from which we will draw. The frequency is exponential 2 minutes. Okay, exponential 2 minutes. Okay, so no logic. So that's our arrival. Okay, now processing. We have customer at waiting line, right? So there is no operation here because you could just wait until the customer gets to the front of the line. The output is the same customer. Destination is teller. All right, rule is first one. Okay. Now double click to create a new record. Customer. Now the customer is at teller. And customer is going to spend 2.4, 0.5, say normal distribution, which is n. Okay. So 2.4 or 5 minutes. Okay. Once that is done, the customer is going to exit. Okay. So now we have set up the model. Okay. Simulation options. Okay. So we can give a name for the simulation. So baseline. So run length, you can have several options. Say we want to run for 2 hours. We want to. So we want the lunchtime operation. So that's what we are interested in studying. So we want to simulate for 2 hours. But since it's in the middle of the day, you can't assume that at the start of simulation, the system will be empty, because it would have already, if the bank opens at 9 o'clock, it would already had 2 hours of operations. Okay. So there may be some customers already in the waiting line. So that's what the warm-up period is about. So you can warm up the system so it gets primed, and then you can start collecting statistics. So statistics will not be collected during warm-up time. So it will run the simulation, no statistics is collected, and then once the warm-up period is over, the simulation continues and statistics will get collected. Okay, so let's say warm-up is 2, And here is a little bit of you need to note this. So the time, well, the time here, even though the default time unit is in minutes from the general information, the run time is default to hours unless otherwise specified. So whatever number that we are entering here is in hours. Okay, so usually when you're running a large simulation, you want to disable animation because animation takes time, resources. So you really don't care unless you're presenting to somebody. You want animation. You want to have that on. The rest of it is okay, and what else? That's it. So replication. So you can have you want 50 replications or something. So it'll run the same simulation 50 times and then collect statistics for all those 50 times. So click run. All right, when I simulate, I get an error. So I have to see what I have done wrong. So now I know what I did wrong. Okay, so edit. And what I have done here is I've specified only the probability distribution, okay, and that is not correct. Okay, so let me show you where the problem is. So in processing, okay, at the teller machine, I have n 2.4.5 minutes. It should be wait and then that. Okay, so let me go ahead and save this and I'll run. All right, so now it's running. See, the length of the queue is displaying, okay, and here is where we see the simulation running. So it's running the 5th iteration, 6th iteration, and so on. Well, if I, you see that it is kind of taking some time to run the simple model. If I click this button, that's going to switch off animation, and you will see that the simulation runs much faster. So it's done. Okay, and then you click yes, and you will see the results. And the results are shown, it is displayed in a separate window called result output viewer. So output viewer gives you all kinds of graphical stuff and tables, results in a table and so on. So let's look at these results in the next video.